Welcome to my floor. Today we're going to go through my physical books that I read in 25. As so many of us, my goal was also to read books from my physical TBR and not just buy books, which I am usually pretty good at. I have 3 stacks. I have stacks of new releases that I bought and read in real time. I have books that have been on my TBR and I worked through that were not bought in real time. And then I have a stack of books that I technically read without the book through the library, and then they've either been gifted or I picked them up after the fact. And so they've been read, but they are new to me this year. Let's go through all 3 stacks. At the end, we'll have a total. I read Fable for the End of the World when it came out on Libby, and then I purchased the special edition of Barnes & Noble later after I had already read it. Oathbound I received for Christmas in 25, but I also read it when it came out earlier in the year. Same with Wild and Wrangled. I received it for Christmas, but I read it when it came out back in the summer. Serpent and the Wolf, I won a friend's giveaway. This was gifted to me, but I did read it earlier in the year through Libby. New releases that I picked up and read. This one is also, I technically read it through the library and then picked it up, but it was really close together. Theory of Dreaming, Empire of Dawn, Onyx Storm. Slewfoot isn't a new release, but was a new to me. I bought it in the store this year and then read it in October. Same with the Faithful and the Fallen series. I had Malice, which is in my next stack we're about to do, but these other 3 I picked up this year to be able to read the series. So they are like new to my shelves, but I still read my physical TBR. A new release, The Night and the Moth. I read it when it came out. You Best Believe, as well as Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. Both of these I read as soon as they came out. Now for the biggest stack, which is books I have owned that have been on my TBR that I've been working through. Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drews. I read this from my physical TBR. Alice, the first book in The Faithful and the Fallen. I did have Dance of Thieves and Vow of Thieves, a duology that has been on my TBR for years and I finally read. Crescent City 3. This came out in 24, I think, but I didn't read it until 25. Addie LaRue. This was a reread for me, but I'm still counting it. The Mistborn trilogy. I read this. I actually read this as audio, as these are little pocket books, but they are now physical books on my shelf I have read. 6 Scorched Roses and The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I read both of these. Blood Over Brighthaven, a standalone. I also read. Another duology, I forget what the duology is called, but I read both of these. 6 books in the Red Rising series. I read all of these. Now let's count them. I think that is 33 physical books. So considering I read 73 books for the year, that is a little less than half of what I read, and I think that is a really good percentage as far as physical books versus audio or library books that I don't physically own, as well as ARCs and things on my Kindle. How many books you were able to read off your physical TBR in 2025? Y'all, in putting my books away, I found 3 more that we didn't count. Poppy War. I reread book 2 of Daughter in Smoke and Bone, and then I read House of Bane and Blood. These 3 need to be added to my total. So many books, and I have them all over, so I had to remember there were more.